Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available in the fall of 2022, the Halloween edition. Dad, F, Jeepers, Creepers. How'd you get those peepers? Oh, Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Mickey, hey, Mickey. Gucci, Louis, Fendi, Prada. All right, let's get, woo! I'm fired up! Let's get into today's video. Before I do though, I need some, there's my lip gloss. Sometimes I just tuck it in my hat, you know, and I just run. Tuck it in my hat and go, because when your lips are dry as mine, then it's Luna Beauty time. I know I'm crazy. All right, so let's talk about Gabbie Hanna. I wanted to do a little bit of an update today on Gabbie Hanna. Let me tell you, where Peter Monn stands on Gabbie Hanna today, okay? That I have not been keeping up as closely with her in the last, I would say, week and a half, 2 weeks, just because it was a lot, you guys. And I didn't really, in all honesty, I didn't know what to think. And you know, there are a lot of people today that are still very, very concerned with Gabbie Hanna and what's going on with her and her engaging in social media, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. I think there's a lot of people, okay, since all of this has happened, and I'm going to tell you what happened in just a second in case you don't know, that are like, okay, Gabbie Hanna is a complete fake of the world. She's faking all of this. She's just doing this to get attention and whatever. And then I think there are a lot of people, I think the majority of people are like, yes, I'm very concerned about Gabbie, but I also believe that there is a certain part of her that is using some of this for attention and is kind of manipulating people. In fact, it's interesting because there was a clip, if you remember, when Gabbie Hanna came out against Jessie Smiles like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago or whatever, and then Jessie responded to her, and people have taken this one clip out, which I'm not going to include in here. You can go watch Jessie's video on it. But Jessie said in there something to the effect of, the next time you come out and you're having some kind of crisis or whatever, and you get everybody worried about you again, and whatever, as if that this has been a pattern in Gabbie's life, which I think a lot of people, having watched Gabbie for a long time on YouTube and and other places, have kind of seen that this is a pattern for her, right? But this time it was more than that. You know, she went and she was posting over 130 TikToks. You know, within 24 hours, she let a complete stranger enter her home, which was very, very dangerous. You know, people were calling to have wellness checks on her. The police showed up at her house not once, but twice. And so people were really, really worried about her. I was very, very worried about her. I think most YouTubers were worried about her that had ever heard of her. Anybody that had heard of her or had followed her, I think most people were really concerned about her, you know? And there were also a lot of people that were saying, because she came out and she said, you know, some transphobic remarks, some racist remarks, and people were like, I don't really feel like that is consistent with somebody that has mental health issues. Just because you have mental health issues doesn't make you racist and transphobic. And so there were people that had those issues on top of all of that, okay? So then Gabbie Hanna comes out less than a week later with this 8-part series, which I covered. I did a video about it over here, on her TikTok. And she said it was supposed to be 7 parts, but it ended up being 8 parts. And it was a series kind of explaining about how these TikToks that ended up being over 130 had started from her doing this just kind of stream of consciousness poetry and whatever. And then it took off and it turned into all of that. And that she had a manic episode instead of a hypomanic episode. And that had only been the kind that she had experienced in the past. She talked in there about her mental health diagnoses, and she talked about the person coming into her home and taking advantage of that situation. She talked about the police. She talked about all of it, right? And so at that point, it kind of seemed like, you know, she was taking a break from all of this. And a lot of people at that time were saying, okay, but this would be the time to get off of social media. this would be the time to say, I'm not going to get on Twitter. I'm not going to get on TikTok. I'm not going to be posting YouTube videos. I'm not going to work on any of that kind of stuff. I have the money. I have the resources, because at one point during all of this, she said she owns her home. This would be the point for me to take full care of myself. This would be the point for me to be really heavily involved in therapy. And she did come out and say that she was, talking to her therapist and things like that. But nobody really knows to what length, because she didn't come out and talk about, what that plan looks like for her. And it was interesting because she wants everybody involved in talking about this mental health stuff with her, and she wants to educate everybody about it, which she did. She came out in these TikToks and, in other places, and she was trying to be educational as far as like, let me teach you, right on the heels of all of this. But she didn't really talk about what that health plan was for her. So for the people that were concerned about her, okay, and were worried about what was going to happen going forward, she didn't really give them any relief. Then she started tweeting out, okay, nonstop. She started tweeting out all of this kind of stuff. And it was at that point, it was a lot of religious stuff. It was a lot of what we had seen before. And in all honesty, this is kind of where I bowed out, because I didn't know at that point. I was still very concerned about her. And, I am somebody, when it comes to mental health issues and things like that, I take somebody's word for face value. So if they say that that's going on, I'm like, that's going on. I'm concerned about you. I'm worried about you. Okay? I think anybody that knows about anything to do with mental health issues, mental health breaks, things like that, religiosity is sometimes tied to all of that. So when I saw that going on and continuing to go on, even though she said, I've had 2 police checks, I've had wellness checks, I'm working with a therapist, she showed a scene where she was playing guitar with a friend, some friend that apparently, I guess, doesn't care if she's okay or not, I don't know, and all these other people that were allegedly checking on her, and she seems apparently okay. At that point, I was like, I can't be part of this anymore. I can't continue to watch this go on, because I don't know what it is. I don't know. And she was saying things about like, I'm going to take a break from social media. I'm not going to post on social media. And then she would post 3 hours later, which is so consistent with Gabbie Hanna 2 years ago before the mental health stuff. I mean, she said she's always had these mental health issues. Okay, fine. That's fair, right? And maybe before they were undiagnosed. But even then, when people were accusing her of doing these things just to sell albums or sell songs or get attention to what was going on, she was doing those kinds of things. So I'm watching all of this, and I'm kind of like, I don't know what to think. Like, I really don't know what to think, right? Like, I trust what she's saying. Like, if this is what she's going through and she's working with a therapist, God love her. I hope she gets the help she needs. I really, really do. I, in my heart of hearts, don't ever want to believe that anybody would manipulate something like this. I cannot in my heart of hearts believe that somebody would do that, okay? So what happened is she's going on and she is, posting, she even said, I'm addicted to social media, but then she wouldn't stop, okay? Now, what was interesting to me at this point was that I felt like she was doing okay enough that she was kind of aware of what she was tweeting. We weren't seeing this 130, 140 TikToks again. This was the Gabbie Hanna that knew what she was posting, okay? And I'm going to tell you why a couple of the things were to me. Kanye West, we know in the past, Gabbie Hanna is somebody that takes a social media pop culture story and she links up to it, right? Because she wants all the attention. For example, okay, when Britney Spears came out of her conservatorship, within that week, I think, it was like that week or the week after, but it was right away, okay, Gabbie Hanna was tweeting to Britney Spears that she wanted to write music with her and that she wanted to help her and help other people, okay? On the heels of Britney Spears coming out of this conservatorship, Gabbie Hanna wasn't worried about Britney Spears in the conservatorship. She was worried about getting her name linked up with Britney Spears. And it was so obvious, and I've talked about it in videos past, long before this ever came out, okay? Well, when she was tweeting out that she needed to get off social media, she was going to take a break, and then 3 hours she would post again, and it was a lot of this religious stuff, she started posting about Kanye West. At that time, Kanye West was posting nonsensical stuff on his Instagram, and he posted something like 30 Instagram posts within 24 hours, okay? Very similar to Gabbie Hanna. And he was posting all these things on there about Kim Kardashian and his businesses and the shoes and Adidas. You guys know what I'm talking about? And then Gabbie Hanna comes out and starts talking about being married to Kanye West, okay? Well, I'm like, it's not missed on me that you always pick the biggest story going on in the world, right? And that you link up to that because you think that that's going to bring you some kind of attention. Now, don't forget, and I said this in my last Gabbie Hanna video, and I think this is important, okay? Is that Gabbie Hanna is the person that came out herself and said, if I know one thing, it's that I know how to make myself viral. So are these linking up with celebrities like Britney Spears, Kanye West, are these attention-seeking behaviors, or are they her way of trying to get viral? I don't know, okay? So then she starts doing all of this political stuff, and I'm like, where is this going, okay? And she did a TikTok, and she also posted it on her Instagram story. I'm not going to post it here, but it's this poem, and it's for Donald Trump, okay? And she's like, and it's... the only way I can explain it, I mean, the rhyming is fantastic and all of that kind of stuff and whatever, and her words are nice, but take away the sentiment, the reading of it reminds me of back in my days in the 90s of going to like amateur coffee shops for like poetry readings. And she's like, "Dear Mr. President, let me tell you what I am thinking with my head because I can't get out of bed unless I tell you what I'm thinking." And she's doing all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, girl, this is like amateur coffee house poetry hour. What are you trying to say to people? I'm confused. So then she comes out with one for President Biden, okay? And that one apparently got flagged and taken down by Twitter or by TikTok. And she posted it over on her Instagram story. And it's very similar to that, you know. President Biden, I can't get out of bed unless I tell you what's in my head. It's very similar to that, right? So she's going to this political thing, and I'm thinking, okay, you know, follow the breadcrumbs, Peter. Before it was all of this religious stuff and, you know, all this kind of stuff, even though after the fact, after she said, I was in a manic state, I'm fine now, I'm okay, she still continued to do the religious stuff, right? So I don't know, does she really believe that stuff? Was that just consistent with being in this manic state? Is she taking care of herself? Is she talking to a therapist about these things? Are friends and family involved in this? Who knows? I don't know, okay? But that was worrisome, okay? Now she's doing this political stuff, and I'm sitting here and I'm watching it, and I'm thinking to myself, now, religious stuff is consistent with mental health issues sometimes when people are having breaks and things like that. But political stuff really isn't, okay? I mean, it really isn't. Not when you're getting on and you're doing coffee house poetry. That really isn't consistent with having like a break, okay? So from what I am aware of from friends of mine that have had them, and I have been around them and experienced it and things like that, okay? So I'm sitting, and I'm no expert, just mind you. I'm no expert. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just telling you based on what I know, okay? And I did, when this was going on, I did look up religiosity and, you know, breaks and mental health breaks, psychotic breaks and things like that to see if they were consistent, and they are, okay, sometimes. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching this political stuff go on, and all of a sudden, she starts coming out with this Mr. Beast, you know, the YouTuber Mr. Beast, who I think has something like 30, he just became like the biggest YouTuber or whatever. He has something like, I don't know, let's look up how many YouTube subscribers Mr. Beast has. Mr. Beast, hold on a second, currently has 104 million subscribers on YouTube. For example, 11 days ago, he posted a video and it got 31 million views. He's won several awards, a Shorty Award, and he's won like Kids' Choice Awards and all this kind of stuff. He does pranks. This one was called I Hunted 100 People for $1 million. He does all these kind of like fun haha videos. He used to do videos where he'd be like you know, like eat the world's largest or the world's most expensive bagel or stay in the most expensive hotel room, things like that, right? Okay. He's also done a lot of philanthropic work, which is like he's done the tree one. I can't remember that, but my t-shirt's upstairs because I bought the t-shirt. You guys know what I'm talking about? It was like every t-shirt you bought, he planted a tree and all that kind of stuff. He's done tons of philanthropic work, okay? And he's really known as being a really pretty nice guy. So she starts tweeting out all of this kind of stuff about Mr. Beast, okay? Here, I've got her Twitter pulled up right here. So let me tell you what she starts pulling up. Well, here's the open letter to Donald Trump, and then open letter to Biden. Then she says, petitioning for Mr. Beast to get involved in local politics now so he can run for president in a few terms, because he is, I think, currently 26 or 27, and like, you can't run for president, I believe, until you're 35. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Listen, I got my glasses on. I can do math today, but I hardly passed government in high school. But he's not the age yet to run for president. Okay, so then y'all are sleeping on my idea to plant the seed to Mr. Beast to start preparing to run for president in a decade or so, okay? And then she goes on, she says, come on, Mr. Beast, you really can do it. You really can be the best president this country has ever seen. And then somebody's like saying this stuff to her, so she retweets these things about Mr. Beast. And then she's talking about, we need a young, influential, empathetic man of the times to run this version of the country. In my opinion, if a reality TV star can do it, a charitable, modern celebrity can do it better. Just saying, if you want to be president, you need some time to prepare if you want to do it well. So now Gabbie Hanna she is the expert. She's the expert on politics and the expert on being a president. I mean, there's a lot of those out there. I got a lot of those on the Facebook, you know? It's like Facebook is full of the political experts today. I think in the next election, I'm just going to get rid of the Facebook. You know what I mean? Anyway, people get on there and they'll have a couple beers or a couple glasses of the KJ wine, you know, and then they'll say, if you don't agree with me, just defriend me. And I'm like, okay. I mean, like, we weren't even that close anyway. But anyway, then she goes on to say, current favorite delusion, I inspire the world's... So here she's feeding into this stuff by saying current favorite delusion. I inspire the world's most influential entertainer in the soon-to-be 18 plus to run our country in 3 to 4 terms. What a seed to plant. You never know. It may grow. God bless the USA. I'm not saying that I think that Mr. Beast would be a horrible idea for president. I don't know. I don't know him that well. But she goes on to say all this stuff about it, okay? And she's like saying all these things. And okay, but then now she's going into the royal family because of the funeral for the queen, and she said started watching The Crown and learned the queen is head of the church and anointed by an archbishop. Wild. She is literally like, girl, you need to put down the pot, okay? First of all, you need to put the pot down because that's a pot statement, okay? You need to put down the pot and stop smoking the ganj, all right? But hold on a second. Britney Spears. Well, first of all, Britney Spears. Before that, she had this 22-part series where she came for Joey Graceffa, Daniel Prada, the entire cast of Escape the Night, Jessie Smiles, Trisha Paytas, all of these people she came for, okay? That all basically proved that she's a liar, straight from the pit of hell. Then she wants to sign on and ride the coattails of Britney Spears, okay? Coming out of conservatorship. Then she wants to ride Alanis Morissette's coattails, which I know people are going to say is a reach by doing that cover, but it was an exact cover. There was nothing different about it. And how she's going to be a rock star and all this kind of stuff, which we really haven't seen a whole lot of her talking about that. Then she talks about Kanye West. So it's Britney Spears, just forget the Alanis Morissette reference. Britney Spears to Kanye West, and now it's Mr. Beast, okay? Well, you might be asking yourself, well, Peter, what do these three things have to do? Like, why are you playing memory card with this, okay? Well, Britney Spears, she started talking about right after Britney Spears got released from this conservatorship. Kanye West, she started tweeting about wanting to be his wife right when Kanye West was doing all of this stuff on Instagram, okay? So why Mr. Beast, you might ask? Well, for those of you that don't know, Mr. Beast just opened a chain of hamburger stores called Mr. Beast Burgers. Literally last week, okay? He's like trending. Everybody's talking about it. I think we got 2 in Indianapolis. I just looked up. He's got a grilled cheese on there that I might have to go have. So right on the heels of everybody in the world talking about Mr. Beast and these Beast Burgers, I mean, there were so many people you couldn't even get into the store when this place opened. I saw all the pictures online and whatever, okay? Who's she going to talk about? Deaf Noodles? She's going to talk about Deaf Noodles going to be the next president of the United States? Hell no. She's going to talk about Mr. Beast because she's going to pull in all that attention from him, right? And so she's getting all this attention from all these people that are seeing her talk about these people. So to me, that seems very contrived. That seems very calculated. That doesn't seem like, you know, like I'm like off and I'm not thinking correctly. Like that seems to me like, oh, I'm really going to like do this in a certain way. So for me, I don't know what to think. Like I really, at this point, And like I said, I wish her all the best. I really do. I hope Gabbie Hanna gets the help and whatever she needs. I hope she gets the therapy, the treatment. I hope she gets everything she needs. I hope she's getting it. I hope that she lives the best life that she possibly can and can be the happy person and joyous, free person that she can be. But, you know, she's worrying a lot of people. She's worrying her fans. And then she comes out and she says, you know, like, don't worry about me. I'm okay. And this is the thing that always gets me about people, right? It's like, you know, if you express your concern and you say you're worried, then they come out and they say, there's nothing to worry about. I'm totally fine. Like, police came twice. I had wellness checks done. I'm in therapy. Don't worry about me. Okay? So then what that makes you think is, well, then they're fine. And if they're fine and there's nothing to worry about, then what is all this? Because it's continuing. It's continuing to go on, right? But you told us that it was fine. You told your fans that it was fine. You told the people that were worried about you that it was fine. And I hope that it is. I really, really do hope that it is. Then what's all of this? What's all of this saying that you're addicted to social media and you can't put down your phone, and then 2 hours later you're like, ha, picked up my phone again, and then okay, and now I'm signing off for good. Ha, picked up my phone again. Like, what is that? Like, that to me seems like old games that Gabbie Hanna used to play to me. So I don't know, but like, you know, and then comes out in a tweet and says, you can't criticize me because of my mental health. And so that's the other game that she plays, right? Is that now that I've gone through all this and all these people were deeply concerned about me, if you come for me or if you say anything about me at all, or if you criticize me or question whatever is going on, then I'm going to say that it's all my mental health issues. So, and that even pushes people further away from being concerned about you, because they're going to throw up their hands and be like, well, I'm not going to say anything anymore, right? And maybe that's what she wants. I don't know. Maybe that's what she wants, is just to sit there and do her music and her art in her house and not have anybody. But like, she's losing subscribers. She's losing fans. Her tweets aren't getting hardly any engagement in them anymore, you know? And people, I think, at this point are just kind of like, okay, like, we don't know what to do. Like, you did this once. You did this twice. You did this 3 times. Like, what are we supposed to do? Continue to be, like, we're worried about you. Either really go get some help for yourself and come back and report what that help looked like and how you're taking care of yourself. And so we know, so we can trust going forward that you're okay, or what are we supposed to do with it, you know? Or are we supposed to just continue to follow this, like, oh, okay, so Mr. Beast is going to be president and I'm signing off of social media again. Like, I think her fans and people don't really know what to do with that. So anyway, I don't know. I'd be interested to know where you hang in that 3 different categories. Like, are you still super concerned about her? Or do you think it's, you know, completely fake? Or are you in the middle where it's like, I'm concerned about her, but a lot of it seems contrived to me? Because it's like, you know, you don't know what to do with some of this. You know what I mean? So let me know. I'm still very concerned about her. And like I said, I hope she gets the help she needs. So anyway, let me know in the comment section below what you think. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.